Just do it. Just do it. Get started. When I first signed up, I was ready to go and I was busy with life, and I allowed life to take away 3 months away from me. But when June came around and I decided, you know what? I've wasted enough time. I got going and the ball just kept rolling. So I would say for anyone that has been hoping, saving, planning, get started.
Hey guys, Rhett here. What's going on? I am absolutely thrilled to have Celissia on the channel today. Guys, Celissia has been in the program for a couple months now, about 6 months, and she's doing amazing. She has one property that already has a tenant lined up, moving in, past Section 8 inspection, killing it. And she said, that's not enough. Let's buy another one. The sky is the limit for Celissia. And guys, I just wanted to bring her on the channel, have her talk about her experience, what it's been like being a remote investor, being a Section 8 investor. So Celissia, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, the pleasure.
Yeah, so this has been awesome.
So Celissia, just talk a little bit about what drove you to Section 8, what made you want to invest in this asset class?
Well, I always knew I wanted to invest in real estate. But my mom was a homeowner of a multifamily home, and I saw her go through the process of having issues with tenants. So I had a little apprehension about that. When I came across your channel, talking about Section 8, that was also something that I thought I knew a lot about. And Section 8 in New York is probably one of the most difficult states in that, there's a lot of clauses in there that doesn't work towards the benefit of the homeowner. So there were apprehensions there, but I started getting a wealth of information about the program and just specifics about even out of state, how it runs differently than it does in my home state. And I was excited. COVID happened and I found your channel right before COVID. So that was a time where homeownership, landlord tenant issues became so obvious to those people who probably didn't think about it before. With so much talk about it in the news, it just kind of made confirmed that this was the way to go. Yeah, so I was excited to finally get started.
Yeah, and Celicia, so you joined the program in March. We waited a little bit to get started. You really, really hit the ground hard this summer. And as soon as we got started, I mean, you got a house almost immediately. That first house you bought for 99,000. The rehab on it was 8,000. It passed inspection almost immediately. We had a tenant for it virtually in the first week that it was up on the market. And now at $1,100, 100% Section 8, the tenant's about to move in and your first unit is about to be up and running and cash flowing.
Yes, exciting. That was the plan and it happened. I'm so excited.
What was it like for
Yeah.
you? What was the biggest learning part of this whole process? I know it went by really quickly, but what do you think is stuck out to you the most during this process?
Well, you know what? I think key was trusting the process. Um, I did my background, research, and there was all the information that you shared on your YouTube channel that I was, watching and listening to. So once I fully understood the process, it was easier for me to trust the process. I understood my role in it, and I really did, hustle when it came to looking for properties. There were quite a few that I had submitted offers on. I always followed up on them, so I knew when I missed out on a couple opportunities and why. But fortunately, I kept at it, and it didn't take long. So I was very happy when my first offer was accepted.
And Celicia,
Yeah.
the best picture that I've ever gotten was the picture of you at the closing table with a big smile on your face, signing the
Yeah.
agreement and the purchase and sale agreement on that property. And that really fired me up. And, you know, for investors who live in places like New York, and for people who live in areas of the country where you can't buy properties for under $100,000 and you're dealing with landlord tenant laws that are never going to be on our side, I love that because it gives you an opportunity to be successful and make money in a market that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get into. And like you said, it's all about trusting the team and trusting the people that you have brought on to get you to that point. And you know, it's one of those things where you have now created a property that's going to give money to you every single month. It's going to continue to appreciate in value. You've started building wealth, and we were able to do it with not a ton of money out of pocket. But you said that's not enough. And before the
No.
paint was dry on that first house, you got another one under contract. This one drastically cheaper. You got this one. You bought this one for 65,000. It only needs
Yes.
7,000 in rehab.
Yes, I was excited to find that one, I tell you. And while it was close, I just couldn't pass up on that opportunity. So I'm glad that everything was able to get going simultaneously, pretty much. It was 2 weeks from one closing to the next. So that made it even sweeter.
Definitely. And Celicia, what has the process been? Because have you seen these properties in person?
I have not, no.
Okay. So that's crazy. Think about that. People, you must tell people that they must think you're crazy doing this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What has it been like for you not even seeing these? So the only time you've seen these has been just pictures online.
Yeah, pretty much. We went through the checklist of what to look for in the properties, what the properties needed, and I was excited to be able to check off check those boxes off. So once I found those properties that met all the requirements, that gave me the confidence to move forward with it. And yeah, I'm thankful for the team. I do have eyes on the ground in Alabama, your eyes, and I'm thankful for that. So that all made it possible.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, you're the one that is buying these. These are yours, right? I'm going to lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. And you've taken a lot of this on yourself. You've found amazing properties. These properties have been incredible. Every time I see a property that is on the rental market for 2 days and we have 30 applications for it, it's a winner, you know, and you're
Yes.
the one that found these. And we have another one that will be finished with rehab this week. Once that's finished, I have no question or no doubt in my mind, we're going to find a tenant for that one immediately, put somebody in it, and you're going to be cash flowing a nice amount of money every single month. And you just started doing this. I mean, think about what the next couple of years are going to look like for you. Have you thought about kind of where you see yourself 5 years from now and what your ideal portfolio would look like?
I have. So, I know that my vision right now is small. I think it's small, but I want to be realistic. I hope that in 5 years, I'll be able to build a 10 property portfolio. That is my ultimate goal. I'm so excited. In a space of a month, I was able to close on 2 properties. So, with that being said, I definitely feel like I've set attainable goals and I'm gonna stick with it. It's just a matter of pushing forward and going into phase 2.
And Celicia, do you have friends that have rental properties? Have you talked to them about this? Do they think, what are you doing? Section 8, out of state? I mean, because when you hear it, it's like, okay, you've never invested in Section 8 before, you've never bought a property out of state before, you've never seen it. Not only did you buy one, you bought two. But a lot of times when I tell people that, when I do that, and when clients of mine tell people that, they're like, whoa, 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 slow down. How are you able to do all this? How are you comfortable with it? Have you had those kind of conversations with friends and family?
Oh, I certainly have. I shared it with a few, my close family and friends, and especially my mom. My mom is one of those super cautious individuals, and she had 101 questions for me. But fortunately, I did have answers, and they might not have given her the ease of mind that she wanted to have. But for me, again, I kind of trusted the process, and I did my research, so I was comfortable in the properties that I had selected and moving forward with them. But yeah, pretty much everyone thinks I'm crazy.
That's okay because, it's not normal. And sometimes when you
Yeah.
want to be in a different position than everybody else, that's abnormal. And, in order for us to invest in areas that we don't live and that are a much higher return than anywhere else in the country, we have to take chances and we have to take risks. And with any kind of real estate investment, and I remember, Celissia, the phone calls we had, you were like, let's do it. Let's do it. Because as an investor, you understood, okay, we're taking a risk here. We're buying real estate in X area on Y street. And we think we can get this. This is the rehab that we're gonna do to it because we're hoping that this is going to be our return if we get this amount of rent, and we hope that over the long term we appreciate this much. But you don't know, and
Right.
you took the risk. That's what we have to do as real estate investors, and you doubled down on it. And it paid off for you because you got a tenant immediately with great cash flow, and your next unit will do the same. And now what you've done is you've created a proof of concept, and not with one house, but with two. So now you can,
Yes.
when you want to raise money or you want to go outside of your circle and say, hey, look, this is what we can do. Do you want to partner? Now you have the ability to do that because you have two units that are both going to be a proof of concept for you.
Absolutely. Yes. And I'm definitely following that model. I did it once, I did it twice. I just have to do it a few more times.
Yeah, Celicia, is there a number? A lot of investors I talk to and clients, they have a number in mind. They say, I need 5,000 a month in passive income. I need 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month. Is there a number in your head that you're striving towards that you feel like once you get to this number, this is going to happen? Or once you get to X number, I can do this with my life. Is there a number that you're trying to get to? Is it a number of doors? What is driving you?
Well, my goal is 5,000 a month in passive income in the next 5 years. However many properties it takes to get there, that's my goal. Because once I get to that number, I feel like I can go into another phase of investing. Um, Fortunately, with my income right now, I'm able to save and plan for what I'm doing right now. But I feel like building that nest egg is going to enable me to go and do bigger things. Ultimately, I would love to do new builds. Like I thought about that. Like I've watched a few of your videos that you've done with new builds, and I have family members that live out of state in these communities that are up and coming, and I always loved watching new buildings go up. So that might be the next thing for me.
100%. And it's funny, Celicia, because that's a very, very common step ladder. And what makes that possible, yes, the 5,000 a month, the income to allow us to do that is without question allows us to get into that different sector and different asset class of real estate. But the thing that makes it even better is if we know every month we're making this money over here and it's guaranteed, we're going to make that money. That is our that's our safety net. Then it allows us to take more risk. And when you do big
Right.
developments and big new builds, that's a ton of risk. Section 8 is on the spectrum of risk. We are, almost in the negative. There's almost zero risk. So, especially once you have a process, a system, and a team, there is no risk. But you need to make sure you're balanced in your risk portfolio. And that's exactly how you get there. You have a large amount of your portfolio that is risk-free. And then in your portfolio, you start adding riskier and riskier, higher risk, higher reward. Section 8 is a little unique because it's extremely low risk and the reward is really high. So we're kind of
Yeah.
in crazy territory with where we are. But Celissia, you've been extremely generous with your time. The last thing I want to ask you, and this is one of the most important questions I'll ask. A lot of people who are watching this right now were in your shoes. They were where you were 6 months ago, 7 months ago, where they're watching videos online, they're reading books, they want to create passive income for themselves. They don't know how, and they're afraid. They're afraid to do it. They know what they want, but there's just so many unknowns. That was you one time. What would
Yes.
you tell you if you were watching this video right now? What would you tell yourself or tell the person who's watching this right now that needs to take that next step?
Just do it. Just do it. Get started. When I first signed up, I was ready to go and I was busy with life and I allowed life to take away 3 months away from me. But when June came around and I decided, you know what? I've wasted enough time. I got going and the ball just kept rolling. So I would say for anyone that has been hoping, saving, planning, get started. Get started. Find that first property.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I think that's as clear as it gets. And for any questions that you want to ask Celissia, please drop her some questions in the comments below. I'll be in there, and I'm sure Celissia will drop in there as well to answer any questions that you guys have. Celissia, can't thank you enough. Thanks so much for coming on here today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks, Rhett.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.